You feed him, walk him, and keep him close when the house falls quiet at night. You give him love the best way you know how. And then there it is again. That wet brush on your skin. A lick. Cute, right? But here's the real question. Every dog parent eventually asks, why do dogs like to lick your feet? The secret reason behind this habit. Most of us assume it's always affection. I did too. But the truth is far more complicated. Sometimes that lick is a whisper of love, and sometimes it's a silent alarm. In fact, only about 2% of owners ever recognize the hidden warning in this habit. The rest never see it until it's too late. Imagine the way his eyes soften, the way his chest eases, the way he settles against you, once you finally understand what he's really saying. By the end of this video, you'll know when a lick means comfort, and when it may be your dog's last cry for help. So let's begin. Number 1. Foot licking. Affection or silent cry. It always seems harmless at first. You're resting in your chair, maybe half asleep, when you feel that damp brush across your toes. You chuckle, you call it cute, maybe even a little gross. He's showing love, right? A kiss from the friend who never leaves your side. But here's the truth, that lick can carry two very different messages. One is affection. The other is a quiet alarm you're not meant to miss. Dogs lick our feet because they carry our strongest scent. To him, your feet are a diary written in salt and sweat, the story of where you've been. Licking them is intimacy. It's his way of saying, you are mine, and I am yours. But when that gentle kiss turns into something frantic, when he licks and licks until you pull away, he isn't writing poetry anymore. He's sounding an alarm. Research shows that dogs increase mouth licking when exposed to negative emotions. Think about that. Your stress, your sadness, even your silence can echo inside him. And only a rare few, around 2% of owners, ever notice this shift before it's too late. The rest laugh, complain about the tickle, and miss the message. Imagine if you could finally hear it. The way his eyes soften when it's love. The way his chest tightens when it's fear. Every lick is a sentence in a language most people never bother to learn. Once you start listening, the whole story unfolds. But if licking can be both love and alarm, how do you know when it's one and not the other? To uncover that, we have to face the most heartbreaking kind of lick, the one dogs give when they sense the end. Number 2, the goodbye lick. Number 2, the goodbye lick. Sometimes a lick is not just a lick. It's not playful. It's not a plea for attention. And it's not even anxiety. It's something deeper. Something final. I've seen it in the trembling tongue of an old retriever who pressed his face against his owner's toes one last time before closing his eyes forever. That gentle touch was his farewell letter, signed without ink, written in silence. Most people don't see it for what it is. They think, oh, he's just being sweet, or he must want salt. But there are stories, heartbreaking stories, of dogs who licked obsessively in their final days, only for their families to realize afterward that those licks were goodbyes, disguised as affection. And here's the part that will send a chill through you. Almost no one recognizes this until the moment has already passed. That's the FOMO no dog lover ever wants to feel, the regret of missing the last word your companion tried to say. Science backs it up. Studies on dogs with chronic pain show that subtle changes, lip-licking restlessness, even quiet grooming can signal hidden suffering. But because dogs are loyal to the end, they rarely cry out. They endure. And in those moments, a lick can be both comfort to you and relief to them, like exhaling the love they've carried for years. Picture it: his eyes searching yours, his chest rising unevenly, his tongue brushing your skin as if trying to leave behind one final imprint. It's not just love, it's legacy. And if you've ever lost a dog, you know the ache of wondering whether you heard that message in time. So, what do we do with this knowledge we learn? We listen. Because not every lick is a goodbye, but every goodbye comes with a lick. And if the second reason hides in shadows, the third is brighter, stranger, and just as misunderstood. It's the way dogs use licking not as farewell, but as conversation. Number 3. Foot licking as canine communication. Number 3. Foot licking as canine communication. We talk with words, they talk with touch. And one of the clearest voices a dog has is his tongue. To us, it's wet, it's strange, sometimes even annoying. But to him, licking your feet is a letter in a language older than writing. Every stroke carries a meaning, and if you listen closely, you'll hear it. Think of it this way: your dog doesn't send emails, he doesn't text. He leaves messages in the way he sits, the way he stares, the way he follows you from room to room. And when he licks, he's saying things you can't imagine. Sometimes it's, "I love you." Other times it's, "I need you to notice me." And here's the part. Most people miss licking can also be his way of soothing himself, like humming a tune in the dark when the silence feels too heavy. Research tells us that licking releases dopamine, the same chemical that brings comfort and calm. So when he licks your feet after you've sighed, after you've wept, after the house has grown still, it's not random. He's not only reading your sadness, he's trying to wash it away. Only a rare few owners ever see this for what it really is, their dog's attempt to heal them. Imagine being part of that 2% who finally understands that every lick is medicine, not just affection. I remember an elderly widow who told me her dog only licked her feet when she cried. She thought it was odd until I explained that he wasn't being odd at all. He was answering her grief, filling the silence with touch, telling her, "You're not alone." That moment changed the way she saw every lick after that. No longer gross, no longer strange, it was conversation raw and wordless. And this is where it gets beautiful. Once you realize licking is communication, you'll start to notice patterns. He licks gently when he's calm, urgently when he's unsettled, and obsessively when something is wrong. Each variation is a sentence in his secret language. Miss it and you miss him. Hear it and you draw closer than ever before. But there's another time dogs lick, and it unsettles many owners the most. It happens in the middle of the night when the house is dark, when you think everyone should be asleep. What does it mean when the licking starts after midnight? To answer, that we have to step into the shadows of the night. Number 4. Night licking and senior dog anxiety. Number 4. Night licking and senior dog anxiety. The night is supposed to be peace. The lamps are dimmed, the house has exhaled, and you slip beneath the covers expecting silence. But then you hear it. The soft rhythm of his tongue against your skin, a lick in the dark. It feels strange, out of place, as if the shadows themselves have a secret to tell. Many owners laugh it off. Dogs are weird at night, they say. But here's the truth: when licking happens in those quiet hours, it's rarely random. For senior dogs especially, nighttime licking can be the echo of confusion, even fear. Just as some older people pace the hallways when their memory fades, older dogs lick to soothe themselves, to prove to their own bodies that they are still safe, still tethered to you. Research on canine aging shows that behaviors like restless pacing, excessive licking, and night wandering can signal cognitive decline or chronic discomfort. These are not quirks. They're red flags dressed as routine. And here's the chilling part: almost no one connects the dots until the problem has already taken root. That's why only a rare 2% of owners ever catch it early enough to help their dogs rest peacefully again. Picture your companion moving through the night like a guard who never clocks out licking, as if to say, "Are you still here? Am I still safe?" It's heartbreaking and loyal all at once. He cannot put into words his disorientation, so he carves it into your skin with each touch of his tongue. But there's hope. I've seen the change when owners create simple bedtime rituals, dimming lights, soft music, a gentle routine that whispers, "All is well." Within weeks, the night licking fades, replaced by the quiet rhythm of a dog finally sleeping without fear. Imagine that transformation: the same dog who once prowled and licked through the night, now curled beside you in peace. So the next time you feel that unexpected lick at 2 a.m., don't dismiss it as weird. Hear it as a question. Because how you answer may be the difference between nights filled with anxiety and nights filled with rest. And speaking of questions, one still lingers if licking can be love, farewell, or fear. How do we know when it tips into danger? That's where we turn next. Number 5. When foot licking becomes a red flag. Number 5. When foot licking becomes a red flag. Not every lick is harmless. Not every lick is cute. Some are warnings dressed in affection, and if you miss them, the cost can be heartbreak. You notice it first as a pattern. Your dog doesn't just lick once or twice. He lingers, pressing his tongue against your skin until the hair dampens, until the skin reddens. What seems like love can, in truth, be a flare in the night sky, a sign that something inside him is wrong. Veterinary studies have found that dogs who lick obsessively often battle hidden pain or illness. Gastrointestinal problems, skin allergies, even chronic joint pain can all drive a dog to focus on licking, as if trying to erase the ache from his own body. And here's the part almost no one realizes: obsessive licking can appear weeks, even months, before any other symptom. Yet only a small fraction of owners, that rare 2%, recognize it in time to act. Imagine it. Your dog licks and licks not because he's sweet, but because his stomach burns, or his skin itches, or his hips ache. He doesn't whine, he doesn't cry. Instead, he writes his suffering into your feet, hoping you'll read the message before it's too late. Most people miss it, and when the illness finally speaks louder, they look back with regret, remembering all the licks they dismissed as cute. But here's where knowledge changes everything. If you see licking become constant, if it leaves red marks on you or hairless patches on him, that's your cue. That's the moment to act, to record the behavior, to call the vet. Because every day you wait, the message grows louder, the illness grows deeper, and the chance to help slips away. Think of it like smoke before a fire. You don't wait for the flames before you react. You notice the first wisp, and you move. Your dog is giving you that smoke in the form of relentless licking. Hear it, and you can save him suffering. Ignore it, and you'll only realize the truth when the fire has already taken hold. So yes, some licks are love, some are farewell, some are fear, but when they cross into obsession, they are alarms. And once you learn to hear those alarms, you'll never look at licking the same way again. But our journey isn't over. Because beyond warnings and alarms, there's one final brighter truth about licking: the way it can transform from a habit into a bridge of love, binding you and your dog in a language no one else can speak. Number 6. Transforming licks into lasting bond. Number 6. Transforming licks into lasting bond. After all the alarms and hidden signals, it might seem as though every lick carries a shadow. But not all licks are sorrow, and not every touch of his tongue is a warning. Sometimes licking is a love letter written in the simplest ink. He has your scent, your skin, your presence. When you understand this, the act transforms. It becomes more than habit. It becomes a bridge, a ritual of belonging. Dogs have always used scent as their compass. Your feet, your hands, your clothes, these are his North Star. By licking them, he isn't just tasting salt. He's confirming the bond, saying, "You are my home." Research shows that licking can increase dopamine, the brain's comfort chemical in both dog and human. Think about that. Every gentle lick may be releasing the same warmth as a hug, calming you both in a shared silence. But here's the part most owners miss. This bond can be strengthened or it can be fractured. If you push him away every time, if you scold or dismiss, he learns to silence that language. But if you guide it, redirecting the obsessive licks into play, into a moment of closeness, you teach him something powerful, that his voice is heard. Only a rare few, that same 2%, ever learn how to turn licking from nuisance into connection. And when they do, their bond with their dogs deepens beyond words. Picture it: instead of a dog nervously licking at your toes in the dark, he curls beside you, giving a single calm lick before sighing into rest. Instead of a frantic tongue searching for reassurance, it becomes a gentle reminder: I'm here. You're safe. We belong to each other. That is the beauty waiting behind the behavior, the transformation from anxiety into intimacy. So when you feel that familiar touch again, don't just pull your foot away. Pause. Notice. Ask yourself, is this love? Is this worry? Is this habit? Or is it a chance to lean closer to speak back in the language he's chosen? Because the truth is, licking is never just licking. It's a conversation. And now you're among the rare few who finally know how to listen. But before we close, there's one more truth you need to hear, the one that ties every lick, every glance, every moment together. It's the reminder that your dog doesn't need you to be perfect. He only needs you to be present. And that's where we end our journey. Conclusion. Listening to the language of licks. We began with a simple question. Why do dogs like to lick your feet? And now you know the secret. Sometimes it is love, sometimes it is fear, sometimes it is pain, and sometimes it is a silent goodbye. What seemed like nothing more than a wet touch is in truth a language written across your skin, a diary he keeps in every stroke of his tongue. Think back on the 6 reasons we uncovered: the affectionate lick, the farewell lick, the lick of communication, the restless lick of night, the red flag lick, and finally, the bond that can turn every lick into connection instead of confusion. Most owners never learn this. They live in the 98% brushing away the signs, laughing at what was really a message. But you've stayed, you've listened, you've joined the rare 2% who finally know how to hear their dog speak. That alone sets you apart. Picture your companion tonight. His eyes softer because you finally understand, his chest rising easier because your presence has calmed him. Maybe he gives you one gentle lick before curling at your feet. This time you won't dismiss it. You'll know whether it's comfort warning or devotion. You'll read the words he's been writing all along. And here is the last loop I promised. There is more to this language than licking. In fact, scientists have discovered that one particular sound, something most owners have never heard of, can calm even the most anxious dog in seconds. That secret is what I'll share in our next video. So don't stop here. Subscribe, share this with someone who loves their dog, and tell me in the comments which kind of lick you've seen and what it meant to you. Because your dog doesn't need you to be flawless. He only needs you to be listening. And by being here, you've already begun.